This is episode 4, week 22, February 22nd. Why is my phone going off? There it is. All right, 22 February 22nd. Oh, man. So, we had, let's get this straight. There's been some, there's been some confusion. I can't even speak. Excuse me. There's been some confusion about what exactly this podcast is. Since I guess it is a fitness channel. The theory was, well, if you're going to do a podcast, we'll just do it talking about, just lifting weights and cardiovascular health and fitness and meal planning and all that kind of stuff. I figured that it hasn't been beat to death, but if I already have a YouTube channel about it, why would I have a podcast about the exact same thing? I might as well just do a video, a vlog, and just have you watch it on YouTube, right? So it came out that this podcast will just be more or less just open, kind of an open forum. I will definitely talk about, as a matter of fact, I need to talk about that this week today. I was definitely talking about weight loss and weight training. I think I touched on it last week with personal trainers and all that kind of stuff. But I didn't want to just repeat the same thing and do 2 videos this week on the YouTube channel and then talk about the exact same thing on the podcast. It just didn't make sense. Speaking of that, the topic came up about an oversaturation in the fitness industry. I guess that's what I kind of default to, right? Since I deadlift and bench press and row and do all this stuff and talk about this stuff on that YouTube channel. Is there an oversaturation of fitness channels or fitness? Is the community oversaturated? And initially I thought, oh, absolutely. Only because oh, my daggone baby girl. Only because I started a fitness channel, right? Not intentionally, but my angle was for the average guy, for the person that lives 40 minutes from work. So that's 80 minutes. It's 80 minutes. Well, it's over an hour every day commuting to work. He comes home. He has a family. He's mid-30s. He's just a regular guy. My goal in that, aside from coming off of a back injury, a broken neck and a broken back, excuse me, goodness gracious, my concern was, well, how can I show people that it's possible? Now, if you see the videos, I'm not the skinniest guy, not the most muscular guy, but the thing I'm trying to get through to people is that, well, just exercise somehow. If you want to do a meal plan, just here's what I did, and it worked. I got down to 226 pounds on that meal plan, right? Well, it's not really a meal plan, no carbs and high cardio, that kind of thing. I literally said, okay, what do I like to eat? Okay, well, I'll just hit these numbers, saw what my BMR was, maintained a certain amount of exercise per day, just, in general. And guess what? I got down to 226 pounds. But the angle was, for that channel, was anybody can lose weight or get stronger or whatever it was. My angle was not to be the most proficient in the biology or the central nervous system, or I wasn't going to try to start a garage gym or garage CrossFit gym or any of that stuff. It really was just, well, look, this is my angle and this is what I'm doing. So from watching years and years of YouTube, I've noticed that whether you're inspired to go see a movie, whether you're inspired to build, a table out of wood pallets, or you're inspired to do whatever, the purpose of the channel was, well, put this channel out. Excuse me, goodness, man. Put this channel out, put it together, make it look like it's at least taken care of. I mean, with everything from an intro to the videos to a YouTube channel banner. I mean, just make it look like it's taken care of, and maybe somebody will come across it and get inspired. Or Well, either way, they get inspired because something I said or I showed them, or they look at my channel and go, man, if this guy's doing it, I know I can do it. And they'll try to do it better than me. Either way, it doesn't matter to me. You know, after I think 100 views on one of my first 3 videos, I was satisfied with my channel. I said, man, I've never had 100 views on anything. So after 100, I put a few more videos out, and I'm up to I don't know, whatever it is on them. And for me, that's enough. I'm kind of just like, well, I did these few videos that were very successful, and I'll just keep putting out things, every week or whenever I really have something good to put out. And that's the other thing. It's not so much about, if you look at how to build a YouTube channel and you go to all these other forums and other YouTube channels, there's channels just about making a YouTube channel, how to get 1,000 subscribers. I get it, but I didn't want to be a person that literally just put content out just to put content out. I at least wanted to be I'm trying to lose weight, so this is what I'm doing, and I'll be back next week and I'll show you where that got me, or whatever it is. There has to be a reason behind it. And then on top of that, I think it has to be worth it, because I can just go on there in a 30-second clip and just go, yep, everything's working. So to actually kind of not script it, but to be able to kind of outline some sort of video structure, even if it's working. And I've done workout video. No, are they workout? Who am I? Billy Blaine? They're not workout videos, but I've done videos where I show you the lifts that I'm doing for that particular day, for that routine. So I try to give people a little bit of everything in that channel to pick from. So is the market saturated? It's saturated enough for there to be options, because just think if there were, I can think of, there's Athlean X, there's the Hodge twins, there's Cali Muscle, there's Low Carb Corey, there's Super Training. I think there's a gang of them out there, but and there's Tiger Fitness. Say that's all you had. So now, call it the new America, but now the average guy can't look at that and go, well, I'm going to get as shredded as every one of those guys. I'm going to get as strong as every one of those guys. I'm going to be able to be as successful as every one of those guys, every one of those channels, So that was my angle, not to bring the dad bod back, but to say that, look, you don't have to, have $10,000 in your own gym to even work out. In my garage gym video, this is acquired over years, mind you. But the very first set I bought was a Rogue. I don't know how much. I think they come in weights, poundages. So I think it was a 360 package or whatever it was. But I got that in bumper plates, and I bought an Olympic bar, and that was it. So it helped me. I could do shoulder press. I could do deadlifts. I could do floor bench press, and technically I could do squats. I could do shrugs. I could do curls, tricep extensions, good mornings, just with the barbell and 10-pound bumper plates on there, 10-pound or 45-pound, whichever one I used. I had enough for, let's just even say, an inactive person, somebody who has a sedentary lifestyle. I had enough to raise their heart rate for 30 minutes per day, whether that's in the morning, whether that's in the afternoon, whether it's twice a day, whether it's once a week, to show people that, this is a regular garage that keeps a car in it, that has, some bicycles. And I don't have a converted garage. I didn't abandon the purpose of a garage. I just have a regular, traditional, all-American garage. And it has some stuff in it. Mine has, pull-up bars and bench presses, and I even bought some more 45s, because what will end up happening is I will go to deadlift. And I don't know if it's just how everyone is, but I can deadlift more than I can bench press or squat. So I would always max out on deadlift, even if it's 10 sets of one. I would still max out on weight. So I didn't necessarily know how high I could go. I always had a wall. I think you always had a wall, that a limit that I couldn't exceed, no matter, unless I really got really creative and put bands on it, but I still don't know what those bands equate to. Anyway, that was my that was my whole force behind putting together a YouTube channel, and not necessarily worrying about, is the market saturated. The market has options, and the very similar to how all the, well, probably not now, but three months ago, all of these vape stores were opening up, and everybody can make the vape pens, and the oils and all this stuff. I was talking to a friend of mine, and he was saying, because he brought his own brew in. He kind of made one and said, "Oh, okay, that's it's pretty awesome." The thing that I thought that was great about it was that it's such an open market, that either the very successful people are going to succeed, meaning the people that have the amazing product and the right flavors released at the right times with the right marketing, or just the people that have a lot of money, so they can fail more, but then push through those failures to still be relevant and be around, in a year. While everyone else with some bathtub brew, those guys are just kind of trying real hard for 2 months, and then they don't have it. They don't have the marketing, they don't have the money, they don't have the product. So I thought it was great that anybody could do it, but I was certain that over the long haul, 3 months, a year, 2 years, that the best of that, let's say it was 30 stores or businesses that open, out of the 30, only 10 will be successful. Only 10 will be able to maintain that business, and then everybody else will kind of fall back and either stop doing it or put their money somewhere else. Put their money oh my goodness. Yeah, put their money somewhere else that's safer, I guess would be one way to put it. So that was my drive behind the YouTube channel. I said, well, yeah, I've been watching people like Elliot Hulse. He has not super training. He has strength camp. I've been watching him at least since 2010, and then he went on his hiatus. I think he went off for about 9 months. He stopped the Yo Elliott series. That never came back, and then he just stopped uploading for a while. I think he was just on his blog, but he ended up coming back. But the point is, he got to a point, or I was watching all of these people, succeed in, maybe something that I wanted to be like, or whatever it was. But my goal was to say, well, I have something to say. I'll put it out here, and I'm still putting it out there. And I don't know when the end is. I mean, to this day, I think I only have 30 subscribers, some nonsense. However, 30 subscribers, 20 of them are family. But 30 subscribers, but the point is, there's interaction between people that watch the videos. If there's a video with 10 views on it, somebody else is either criticizing me or complimenting me. So I go, that's great. And then I have the other, 30 subscribers that, in theory, every time I upload, they get that notification and that suggestion in their homepage. So I look at that and I say, well, as long as I have something to say, I'll keep saying it. And until the day I look around, I go, you know what, I'm not getting any benefit from putting this out. And it's, in all honesty, it's free. I sit my camera up there in the garage, hit record, and I just go. Or I'll be driving home from work, think of some stuff, and I'll get it all down pat, and then I'll record it on my phone. So either way, if I get to a point where I don't feel like it's worth it, and I'm not contributing anything, then I'll roll out. Now the other side of that is, oh my God, what happens if I just miraculously, for whatever reason, put out some video and people just they stick to it. They just love it, and I become famous. I don't know how I become, maybe internet famous, right? So between Instagram and YouTube and just being alive in 2016, um, I start to see some sort of fame and some sort of recognition, that will still be hard for me to keep putting videos out and putting content out if I don't believe it. So I'm really trying to see. I'm really trying to not think about the negative so much when it comes to saturation in the market, because, well, there's enough money out there for everybody. There's enough bandwidth for everybody. So why not anyone that wants to contribute? Why not let them contribute? And the ones that don't have the heart, they don't feel like it's worth their time, or maybe they just actually don't have time. Okay, well, those guys fall off. That's okay. That's part of life. That's why people don't graduate high school. People drop out, or they just they don't have the GPA. So some people go to college, some don't. It's just part of it's the natural order. So when it comes down to, why I still do a YouTube channel, I just do it because I can, ultimately, until the day I figure out, it's not worth it. I'll go ahead and stop. And, I'll make an announcement to, 4 people that watch the video, but I wouldn't just leave people hanging, because I've had that too, where I wouldn't put up a video for 2 or 3 a month, and certain people that I'm connected with, inside this kind of community on YouTube, they'll be like, yo, what's going on? You haven't uploaded. Was everything all right? And it happens like that in I guess the YouTube world, and sometimes your personal life affects everything, your job, your relationships. And there's been times where it's just like, yeah, there's no way I can do it unless I'll be up at midnight recording something. I have to turn around and get up at 3 a.m. to work out and then try to go to work. So yeah, I'm cutting out YouTube. Now here's this other thing. If YouTube was, if I was making some money, YouTube would be a different priority. It would change places on my priority list. But right now it isn't. So that thing will go to the wayside if it comes to, like family time, job, YouTube. It's a third on the list, or even lower. So that's it in a nutshell for that. I feel like if you have something to contribute, don't half-ass it. Put all of it in. If you really look at it with what you have available, I feel like you should be able to put forth that same effort, even if it's a blog, right, or whatever it is. You should have some sort of schedule. You should put into the artwork, if there is some sort of title page or whatever it is, a website. You should make it look as professional as possible, because you want to be taken seriously. So all those years I was watching, all of the YouTube channels, I kept remembering when I was doing my YouTube channel, I said, well, I want to get a nice looking banner, the thumbnail, the profile picture, whatever it is. That can kind of be whatever, but I still want it to be good. I need a name for this thing. I need to have, I need to upload every week, or, some people do it 3 times a week. I need to have some sort of consistency, so when people subscribe to me, or maybe not, maybe they'll just come to my channel at least every week, I'll have something new. So that's what I did. Now, when it comes to this podcast or garage cast, whatever, I don't even have a real name for this thing. I don't have a solid name. It might change. Who knows? I mean, I know, but if you have any suggestions, hit me up. Real Arman Hawk at what was that, Twitter? Real Arman Hawk on Twitter. That's what it is. Anyway, when it came to the podcast, I just thought, well, this, for me anyway, regular guy, this for me would be a better way to get my message out to people, right? And it's not necessarily about weight loss and fitness and all that nonsense. There's enough of that already out here. My whole thing was, well, when I drive 40 minutes to work every day, I rarely will listen to the radio. Most of the time, almost all of the time, I'll listen to a podcast. Because for one reason, I'd never really have time to listen to it at home like I used to. I used to be able to just, get home, open up my laptop, and just play music and, kind of, just do whatever I wanted to. As I've gotten older and got more responsibilities, that free time to just let things happen like that are kind of slipping. So yeah, when I drive to work, 99% of the time, I'm either starting a podcast or finishing one, going on to another one that's on my list. So I said, well, the podcast is the best way for me to be able to talk about many topics and not be pigeonholed because, well, not necessarily be pigeonholed, but I can talk about many things. And like for me, regular guy, I don't have the bandwidth to stream all this YouTube stuff. So, all right, well, you want to download a podcast? All right, that takes, I don't know, 50 megabytes, whatever it is. You can do that while you're right before you go to work and listen to it on the way to work. There's 30 minutes, there's an hour, however long the podcast is. There it is. So I was looking at it from that angle too to go, I have other things to talk about because it's hard to take I'm not the Hodge twins, right? The Hodge twins have many, it's mostly fitness. It's like Hodge twin workout and fasting twins and Ask the Hodge twins. And I think they have about 4 channels, maybe 5. But I felt like I couldn't do that on YouTube. So I said, well, I'll just run this parallel podcast. And sometimes we'll cross. Like today, I'm talking about, I'm even mentioning my YouTube channel. That's the time where they'll cross paths. But other than that, I'm not here to sort of, co-promote the YouTube channel necessarily. But there'll be times where I'm sitting here and that's what's on my mind. So that's what I'm going to talk about, and that's the real reason this podcast is here, to be able to talk about multiple things, to have multiple guests. I can't have a phoned in guest on the YouTube channel necessarily. I mean, I could record it and sync up the audio and do all that, but at least on a podcast, I can actually have somebody call in and we can have a conversation, or I can take a road trip, break the mics out, and then just record something. You know what I mean, with a guest. I know. I mean, I'm. You guys are probably sick of listening to me talk alone. I do need a guest on it. This is getting kind of ridiculous, but that was my goal with the podcast, to say, well, all right, well, let's try this over here too, because let's be honest, radio is really kind of it's been the same 27 tracks on radio for the past 8 years. It's the same. It's the top 20. Same old stuff. At least the cities that I've lived in, you rarely will hear a local artist get broken. And even now, the artist doesn't necessarily need the radio. You'll get some Macklemores, here and there, but that guy really kind of just hit the radio and completely, blew up. But there's people out here that make a pretty decent living in in music that I've never heard of and I never will hear of, but they take home, plenty of money. So I figured, why don't I just start a podcast and just, be able to talk to that group, that person, that artist, that whatever, and it be relevant. I felt like it'd be too difficult to try to shift gears on that YouTube channel. So the next best thing is a podcast. And then depending on what I'm talking about, that's why you download the podcast and you listen to it on the way to work. Or you listen to it when you run, or, whatever the heck you do to pass time, or when you have that time. That's when you listen to it. Why not? You know what I mean? Well, I just wanted to clear that up. That's a long explanation. I wanted to clear that up about the difference between my YouTube channel and this podcast. They're kind of one and the same, yet they're distinctly separate. I don't want to get that confused. Or there'll be times where I'll talk about on my YouTube channel things that I may bring up on the podcast later that week or that month, but that's not intentional. I happen to deadlift Tuesday, so I'll talk about that on a video, and in the video I'm deadlifting, but then, the following Monday or, whenever it is, I'll talk about it on the podcast. That's just happened to be like that. It happened to work out that way, but not necessarily intentional. Oh, man. So now that I'm done rambling, I had the pleasure of watching, it's not even the pleasure, was it Bellator, whatever it was, Kimbo versus Dada 5000. Man, come on. I didn't. I really wanted to watch the Shamrock and Gracie fight. The average age was 50 years old for that freaking fight. I'm not against 50-year-olds fighting, right? If you want to fight, and particularly if you want to fight in some sort of organization, that's great. Let's start a fight club masters division. Hold on, wait, hold on. All right, sorry about that. Had to get my baby girl. She's in there crying up a storm. You all right? Yeah. Hopefully she doesn't. Excuse me. Hopefully she doesn't tear this place apart with her interested mindset. Um. Yeah. So this daggone Dada 5000 and Kimbo Slice. I do not mind. Folks. If an organization, Bellator, uh, whoever, I don't know, how many mixed martial arts organizations are there out there? I don't care if you want to have a master's division. That's fine. I'm okay with that. If nothing else, it's no different than mixed martial arts or even the was it Major League Lacrosse. Like there's nothing different there that somebody or a group of people gave these college athletes or high school athletes a post uh, they gave them a life after school. So if you have these guys, even not really Anderson Silva, but like Rich Franklin, maybe even Chuck Liddell, these older mixed martial artists that can't go against. I mean, you could go against a 20-year-old, right? But the difference is at how old is Anderson? 35, whatever he is. At that age, I don't think he's really fighting with the same insanity that a 19-year-old or 20-year-old or 23-year-old mixed martial artist is fighting with. So yeah, if you want to start a masters division in if you want to pull a WWE, what is that called? Legends, WWE Legends. If you want to pull that, I'm all for it. But do not sit there and try to market. Well, I mean, market it, whatever. It was on cable, but they had the main event and the co-main event. This geriatric freak show. It was either Gracie Shamrock. Those guys are 49 and 50, I think, or 48 and 50, and then you had Kimbo and Dada. Right, I didn't catch all of the Kimbo. I think I caught the last round. Horrible. Now, I don't know if both those guys didn't go through a camp or whatever it was, but the performance looked bad. It's one thing if one person gasses out, but when both fighters gas out, and then it's prejudice, right? You look at them and you go, those guys are not in any sort of fight condition. How bad is that? The only thing I put it on put that thing up on the Facebook. I put it on Facebook. The only thing I'll give Kimbo the credit is he didn't die. Dada heart stopped, but Kimbo was still swinging and going for it after he was blatantly out of it. Before he was completely gassed out, he kept going, and then eventually Dada fell down or got knocked out or whatever it was. But that's the dangers of trying to jump in there from going from the street to the professional, to being a professional fighter, or in that, no pun intended, in that arena. Those guys' heart rates are up for 3-4 minutes, and just not at your own pace. They're at someone else's pace, and that's what we got. Just a crap fight. So you have all these undercard fights with guys with an average age of 24. It looks like night and day. It looks like night and day between Kimbo, the Gracie, and the rest of the night. So, I mean, I just hope it's a double-edged sword. It's a car wreck, right? I hope that you saw it so you know what I'm talking about, so you'll never have to see it again. I didn't even want to really see Ken Shamrock against Kimbo Slice, but that one was interesting because you look at Shamrock. What's up, Mama? You look at Shamrock, you go, the dude's 50, still kind of yoked, right? And you look at Kimbo, I don't know how old Kimbo is, but it's a yoked dude. So I thought it was at least gonna be a slugfest. Nah, pure booty. That fight, the last Kimbo fight, it's Bellator is slowly but surely spiraling out of control when it comes to trying to figure out something else to do. It's one thing to kind of be, second fiddle to the UFC. Second place isn't bad if you're still pulling in good Viacom money, right? Viacom? I think it's Viacom. It's not a bad place to be if you still have a successful program, successful league, successful organization. But I think you start to discredit yourself as an organization that can be taken seriously when you put on those types of events and you truly market it as, hey, this is the main and the co-main event. Average age 50. You don't want to do that. If that's the thing, if they were an undercard that was on earlier, maybe closer to the end, but then had some young guys, Ben Henderson, he just went over there from the UFC. If that was on that same card, you kind of go, okay, I'll give you that. I'll watch Kimbo to get to Ben Henderson. I'll do that, no problem. But to have those guys as the main event and co-main event, it makes me wonder what is Bellator thinking I know what they're thinking. They're thinking, well, we're going to put this show on because people will watch. And if you check the ratings, it made people watched. By all means, they watched. But for surely people were not betting, putting money on, or sitting at the edge of their seat waiting to see who the winner between those two fights were. I just wanted to see it because it seemed like a spectacle, and for surely it was. I never even heard of the Dada guy, but he got in the ring. I didn't. He's better than me, but I know that if I were in the same physical condition as that boy, I definitely wouldn't have been in the ring. Yeah, it'd be crazy. But yeah, I was just hoping that y'all saw that because that was absolutely unnecessary. Hopefully this Dada guy, hopefully he's out of the hospital now. I think I read his heart stopped. That's why he passed out and he got taken out on the stretcher. So hopefully he's able to recover from that and not have any kind of permanent injury. It wouldn't even be worth it. They'd be even with the money that they would have made or that they did made. I don't think it'd be worth it to I don't think it'd be worth it for him to, suffer a stroke or whatever it was that he had. This daggone girl is. You all right? I guess, hey, there it is, my first guest. My little girl, she's tearing this place up. So, yeah, that thing, stop it. That thing was absolutely horrible. Yeah? Speaking of that, so I'm at the grocery store, and imagine this, right? I take my kids to the grocery store. So it's just me and her, a gang of groceries. So, I go through, do my thing at the grocery store, I check out, and I'm leaving, and there's these guys, there's these street toughs. No, there's this they have security guards up here, right? So one guy, I passed the one guy to leave, and he I don't know if we made eye contact or something, but he says to me, hey, I see you got the duty tonight, right? And I look at him, I kind of look at him and, nod my head. But as soon as he said it, I was thinking, what do you mean I have the duty tonight? No, man, it's called raising your kid. There's no sort of, duty swap thing. And I regularly, I'll take my youngest up there to the store. And it's kind of a break, for the whole house to get her out of here because she's not rambunctious, but she's young. She'll just get into everything. So I'll take her with me. Two, there's that bonding time, that she'll never remember, but I'll remember. But when this guy said that, I was almost upset, kind of like, what do you mean you have what kind of way is that to look at, your kids or a child, even if it's your niece or your nephew. It's like, well, that's still family. It's not. I'm not. I don't have the duty. It's just this is what I do. I love my kids. I'm taking care of them. We're going to the store. We're going to get ice cream or whatever it is. I just thought that was odd. I mean, I completely understood what he was saying. And traditionally, you don't see the husband or the man or father with the kid. It's usually the wife, right? But when he said it, I just kind of thought, nah, man, I'm raising my kid. It's okay. I understand your angle, but that's not what it is here. It's really just what I do, and I don't mind doing it at all. It's kind of what I signed up for. But anyway, to get off of that sappy subject, I'm back to fitness, I guess it is. I'm 3 weeks out from my final weigh-in for trying to get down to my fighting weight. So, you all right? So yeah, I'm trying to get down. I need about 10 more pounds. 10 pounds in 3 weeks. That's doable. 10 pounds in 3 weeks. Uh-oh. I don't know what you want. Uh-oh. She's sleepy. Oh, come on, sugar. Yeah, 10 pounds in 3 weeks. I mean, that's nothing, particularly when I've been going this long. Just to kind of dial it in. So, you can't touch that. You can't. Oh, she's going for the mic. Yeah, 10 pounds. How many times am I going to say this? Yeah, it shouldn't be too bad. I was talking to my wife about it. I'll just probably, it's easy at this point, just dialing it in and make sure I'm steady throughout the week and get down to it. 3 weeks. What's wrong, sugar? 3 weeks, about 19 days. So I get down to my fighting weight. You ready to go? I think she's ready to go. But I think that might be it. I think I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you. Yeah, I think I'm going to wrap it up. I think it's bedtime. All right. Thanks for listening. I will see you guys later. Yeah, I think that's it. Kimbo Dada 2. When is that coming out? I don't know, but I'm not watching it. That's for sure. All right, guys. Thanks.